Hello, welcome to Telling It Like It Is. This is our weekly A's update. Struggling week for the A's, 3-4. Last week we wanted 4-3 as the goal at the end of the week. We always say that. This is another 7-game week coming up as we are in the midst of 17 straight days of games. This will be day 8 of that. The reason I said I wanted 4-3 last week was you got the Orioles coming in for 3, and you'd like to think you'd beat them 2 out of 3. And you'd like to hope you could get a split with Tampa, which we did. And both of those we barely got, the split and a game yesterday for the Orioles. If not for Ramon Laureano's heroics, this could have been a tough slide. So to me, so far this year, Ramon Laureano's heroics yesterday and Matt Olson's heroics versus the Astros when he hit the bomb, you could just feel such a lift. And so those to me are 2 season-changing moments right now that really helped us stay on top of the division. I believe that you need people to make big plays to stop streaks. It's not about always the win streaks. It's about stopping losing streaks. And so today we're going to talk about some of those things. Like I said, 3-4 week. I'd like to have gotten a 4-3, but we'll settle it. In May, we have a lot of home games, so we need to make some hay. Tough week, though. 4 versus the Rays. And then we have a 4 versus the Blue Jays, and then 3 versus the Rays. So we have a total of 7. All right, so the Rays are very tough, as you know. And Blue Jays lineup is very daunting. We have to find a way to score some runs here. So into the season now, a couple of things I've noticed. Really got to get Luzardo. I know he broke his finger, but we got to get him out of the starting rotation. Every time he gets in trouble in a tight situation, just trying to throw harder or throw the same pitch over and over again out of anger shows a real immaturity on the mound. As a former college pitcher myself, obviously not his level. It just shows a tremendous amount of immaturity and a lack of approach. And you'd like to think that the coaching staff and the catchers are really calling the pitches, but as my dog Charlie barks in the background, you just find a stubbornness in his approach. And leaving balls in the middle of the play with 2 strikes is just really atrocious. So I'd like to see him go to the pen. I think first time around he could work. His stuff is not as good. They hyped him up a little bit. I don't think he's ever going to be the guy that they hype him to be. And Puck being still out, we're never going to find out about him. But Luzardo, he's just got to get better. Maybe first time around, he'll be okay. Shh. So let's look at some of the hitters. Sean Murphy, I feel like he's coming around. I know he's only at 200, but I feel like he's coming around. Matt has been great, obviously. Matt Olson's been fantastic. Jed finally got a couple of hits yesterday, 3 for 4. Elvis Andrus, Matt Chapman, still struggling. They're still struggling, Elvis Andrus and Matt Chapman. Matt's been great with the glove. Elvis is starting to come around. Matt, he's almost up to 200. Elvis is at 160. So I'd like the fact that we spelled them a game last week. And I think when Chad Pinder comes back, which has been the longest knee injury I've ever seen in my life for 10-day DL, IL, I should say. But when I feel when Pinder comes back, we can spell Elvis a little more. Morcan is always solid, and Ramon was cold until yesterday, and then he saved us. But Scotty, I felt, was getting off to a good little run there when he had the situation where obviously you have maternity leave. Mitch Moreland, I always feel like we get a good at bat at him. Seth Brown has had a tough week. Not really impressed with his bat this past week. And Tony Kemp, I think, can still do some good things. The guy that really just does not belong up here. And we've had so many good 2-catcher tandems the last 10 years. I don't know what Aramis Garcia is doing up here. I just don't. Defensively, he's not great. Offensively, he's given us nothing. Even his swings, when he does get a hit, he's had a couple of doinkers. And I know he's trying to, stay his head on the ball, but he swings through a ton of pitches. I just don't know where our other catchers are. The fact that you're telling me that we don't have another catcher in the minors better than that is just shocking, that we wouldn't have a better catcher than that. So I refuse to believe that. There must be some other reason that this guy is up that we don't know about. He's just not getting it done. And if you're a person who has to have pie in the sky every day to be a real fan, then you're not going to like that. But I really don't care. He's just not good enough. And that's just the bottom line. He's just not good enough. Sorry about that. Charlie and Lily and Willie are having a field day in the background there. So I just feel like Garcia just doesn't belong. Pitching-wise, the starting pitches, Bassett's been consistent, not been great. Manaya's been pretty good. Luzardo, like I just talked about. Irvin has been surprisingly good. He's been a bright spot. Frankie's DRA is high, but I feel like he's been hit or miss. and Mike Fires, it'll be good to have him back. I feel like the bullpen has been a strength of our team. That and some defense, even though this week we had a couple of defensive hiccups that we usually don't have, and then the Orioles did cash in on those. Well, we didn't cash it on theirs. Uh, Romo, obviously, Wendelken's gone down for a couple of days. He's a little banged up. But I feel like Guerra's been pretty good and Guadon's been pretty good. But I'd like to get back Birch Smith when the time comes too. I mean, that's another good arm in the pen. But Diekman's been a little spotty, but he's getting through it. So I feel like our bullpen's been good and our defense has been pretty good. But our base running, a couple of bad base running plays, making the first out at third, making the last out at third, a couple of no-nos that we just have not done a good job of. But I feel like overall, we're still in a pretty positive place. We're still in first place. Anytime you're in first place, that's a good thing. Again, I really thought we could get 2 out of 3 out of the Orioles. I knew that Means was going to be tough. So it was a little disappointing that we didn't beat the other two guys, especially Matt Harvey. Like I said, I'm up here in New York, and Matt Harvey has not been good. I know he's won 3 starts in a row, but his slider is so flat, 87 miles an hour. We got to hit that. I mean, and then we got in so many great hitters counts versus him, and we just kept hitting lazy fly balls, which I guess is a sign of the score at the time getting blown out, or it's a sign of just Matt Harvey had late movement, which didn't look like from where I was sitting. He had late movement, but Petit's has always been really solid, and Lou Trevino's been pretty good too. But we just have to get better. Like I said, Chappie's coming around a little bit. I'd like to get him over the 200 mark before I say that. But we got to get a little healthy too. We can't get a break yet. Olsen misses a couple of games that hurt us. And he's really been hot. So for him to miss a couple of games and not have Pinder for a while. So I feel like every time we get somebody going, whether it be Scotty with maternity leave, Pinder gets a good start to the first night, he gets hurt, or Olsen getting hit in the eye on a fluke thing in batting practice. It's just it's one thing after the other right now. We got to find a way to stay healthy, and so we can spell some of these guys. And I find that we're not as deep as we were in years past. It's just not as good as we were in years past. If you look here, Vimiel Machine, he's not the answer. There's got to be some better options down there. In the past, at least you felt like you had a guy like Franklin Barreto, who never really turned out, but you felt like at least when he came up, there's some damage that could be done. So we have to find a way to get a little deeper. And the last couple of years, I feel like our teams were deeper, and that's going to hurt us a little bit if we don't find a way to get through this. So like we used to have guys like Joyce coming off the bench, and right now we're not getting that. I feel like when we get Pinder back, that makes us so much deeper because of his ability to play so many positions. But overall, like I said, this week, 4 versus Toronto, that's going to be tough. They can really hit the ball. And then tonight, of course, we get a late o'clock for me, 10 o'clock game. But then we got 3 with Tampa. So if we could get 4 and 3 this week, I would consider this a hell of a week because these are some big-time teams coming. These are teams that if you don't win a division, you'll be fighting with the wild card for. And I feel like in our division is competitive enough, where even though Texas is in last place, they could certainly beat you, that we're going to beat each other up in a division. It's not going to leave a lot of room for any wild card talk. And people could say, well, you're not even 20% into the season yet, so what's the wild card talk? Well, it doesn't matter. What percent of the season you're into? Wild card talk is always a possibility. You want to secure a playoff berth, and you have to look at everything, whether it be wild card talk or division talk. So we have to find a way to make sure that we can try to beat the teams we can beat, and that's going to be the key. But we got to get a little bit better on this homestand, and we got to shake these bats up a little bit. And like I said, I'd like this. The one positive of Luzardo getting hurt is we can get that 5-man rotation. We get Fires back in there. Maybe we can break the kid back in through the bullpen, and that could be a positive. So hopefully tonight we can keep Matty and Elvis, keep him getting some hits. And I didn't like Murphy having a day off for Garcia because Murphy's a young guy. It's only his first full season in the majors. And I know you say Saturday day after a Friday night. I mean, come on. He's a young guy. Johnny Bench did it. Mike Piazza did it. Jorge Posada did it. Gary Carter did it. So, I mean, like, Murph's a young guy. And the difference, the war between Murph and Garcia, I mean, Garcia just does not belong. There's had so many better catchers over the years. I just can't understand what we're doing here. There's got to be no other options on anybody better. But, when the minor league season gets a little bit more in full bloom, we could definitely follow along and see what's going on there. But got to get Garcia out. And again, nothing personal. It's business. And as diehard A's fans and being on the East Coast, staying up till 1 and 2 in the morning, getting up to teach the next day. I don't have a lot of sympathy for that. So this guy's got to produce his major leagues. This is not, the Little League World Series. So this guy's got to step up, and we got to get Jed going again. He had a couple of hits yesterday, thank God, because he'd really been struggling. But our pitching's got to be better. The bullpen's holding us together. Base running's got to be better. We need a 4-3 week, right? That's the thing. You've got to have a 4-3 week. Sorry about the dogs, but I'm not going to edit it out because I don't believe in editing on telling it like it is. And that's part of telling it like it is. We want you to hear your opinions. We want you to discuss. Reach out to me. We'll have you on the show. We'll talk A's baseball, and we'll have some fun. Signing off. I got my Eck jersey on, by the way, today. Not my Eck jersey, but my Eck t-shirt. Good old Eck. Could use him right now. Definitely get him to close some games. And I thought during the week, by the way, that Addison Russell might have been available, but he's not. He was out for a while, but he's signed with another professional team. And there's not a lot of other options out there. Cespedes is still out there, and Puig is still out there, but nothing else. So, and Matt Wieters is out there. You can't tell me he can't do a better job backing up than Garcia can. Matt Wieters not going to sign for $1 million? Come on, man. Garcia's got to go. Signing off.